I am. We are. This is Norwood. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I Am Norwood. I'm pleased to have with me today Norwood Council candidate, Angie Alberti. Angie, good afternoon.
Hello.
How's everything going in your part of town?
Good. Thank you for making this available. It's good.
You got it. Happy to do it. Let's just jump right into it so we can maximize your time here.
Okay.
First question I have, what's motivating you to do this? Why do this?
Oh, goodness. How much time? No. Mostly it really was, I was already doing a lot of service in the community. So since I first moved here, I looked for ways to jump right in. I started getting going on some really awesome things. And the more I was getting involved, the more I was doing things that had the potential to impact the whole community. And I was enjoying doing it from that perspective, kind of as a resident and volunteer.
Okay.
And it was actually suggested to me by both sides that I might want to consider council.
Okay.
And that suggestion opened the door for me to consider how being on council might provide a different viewpoint by sitting at the table of how to better impact the community. And that's really where it came from work I was already doing, as well as suggestions from people who were on council and had a table saying, hey, have you considered this?
Okay. And what are the biggest issues, if any, as you see it, facing the town right now?
Oh, well, on the one hand, there's the issues that are affecting every community in the country and world, like that really relate around community, mental health, access to resources, understanding of what's available to us right where we live, that I think that we could really improve in Norwood on behalf of our residents. That's one that's, it's an overarching challenge everywhere.
Okay.
Then specific to Norwood, I do think right now one of the areas we're challenged in is a governing body that is not unified on behalf of our residents, and a need for there to be greater harmony and stability and working together despite our differences. That I think is a challenge that's really impacting our residents in tangible and intangible ways.
Okay. Going back in time a little bit before we continue to talk about the present, where did you grow up and attend school and what have you?
I was born in California, Northern California, and then we moved to the Midwest when I was 10. And so I did pretty much all my formative years from age 10 through college in Ohio.
Okay.
And I got both my bachelor's and my master's degrees from Bowling Green State University. And so I have these deep Midwestern values, traditions, personality that definitely are a lot of people pick up on that I might not be from the Northeast. So that comes from Ohio. And then I have more recently, since I moved to New Jersey in 2009, I have another bachelor's degree from Rutgers, and now I'm in my final year of my PhD program in nursing at Rutgers.
Okay. So we weren't entirely talking about past history. The school part still goes on. All right.
Yes.
What, if anything, do you take away from, I guess, your various stops growing up that you can potentially make applicable in Norwood? The opportunity.
One of the biggest life lessons is from all the experience I've lived in. I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived in the South. I've lived in the West Coast. I've lived in the Northeast. I've lived in the Midwest. There's a quote that says, "We are more alike than we are unalike." Okay. And that I find to be true of anywhere I've lived. It's very easy to pick out differences, whether it's accents or ways of being or, driving style that differ among all the different areas you could live in the country. We really are at the root of it. We are all human. We all bleed the same color. We all have the same emotions. We all have the same challenges. And for the most part, we all really want the same things for ourselves and the communities around us. That is what I've seen where I've lived, that we are more alike than we are unalike.
Excellent. Excuse me, trying to knock a cold here. Today was actually the first day at the gym in 5 days to that point. But where was I? Yes. Name one thing you'd like to see the town put more tax money towards, if anything.
Tax money toward. I would like to see continued tax money toward our open space, our facilities, walking paths. I know there's a lot of things in place that are already addressing it. So I would just say like the borough is on the right path for where I'd like to see continued movement toward greener initiatives, thinking about the continuity of our community long after we're going to be alive and here on earth, that we have the protection of some of our open space. So, and resources, tax dollars going there is definitely something that's like top of my mind.
Okay. And flip side, is there anything that you see that you'd like the town to spend less taxpayer money on than it might at the current time?
Anything that there is a grant available for, we're spending tax dollars for, is we're spending too much money.
Okay.
Anything that there is county, state, or federal funding available to us that we're not tapping into, we are overspending.
Okay. Let me see here. If there's any one borough ordinance you're aware of that you'd like to change or expand, modify, or get rid of in any way, what would that be?
I mean, the borough code and ordinance, it's pretty thick. I've looked at a lot of that's available on the E360 code online. I would have to really dig in to have a more concise answer of all the code, maybe things that need to be revisited. I know that there is somebody at the borough who already kind of looks through code, assesses code, determines if there's a need to revise. So I would probably have to defer that question to them. Right now, nothing is coming top of mind.
That's fair. Delegation is a good thing in these positions.
Yeah.
Let me see. I want to give you a hypothetical based on potential actual events. Okay, so you have a piece of property that's owned by the town. That's just woodsy, basically, borders on a residential property. Tree falls down from the borough-owned property onto the private property, causing all sorts of damage to cars and vehicles and things of that nature. You, as hypothetical councilman, get notice of claim to discuss at a council meeting. What, if anything, would be your recommendation on how to address or redress the resident whose property was damaged by the trees that fell from municipal land?
Before I was asked to vote or give input on anything, I would, being a researcher, this is my job. I would need a lot of information about before I would ever attempt to make a decision. The first thing from a resident perspective and making sure they understood that, we will absolutely be working to remedy the situation. I hope that would be the first message sent to the resident. That's the priority. Secondly, as far as borough liability or, how to actually help the resident, collect on damages or whatever, all of that would definitely have to involve borough attorney. I would have to have the information, if I needed to vote on something, know what the ordinance is, know what the situation was. Was it a tree? Was it from a storm? Was it from not maintaining the property? That was, borough in the borough's purview of doing. I mean, there's a lot of information I would probably have to have, but I would count on, you know, our amazing paid borough employees, including our lawyer, to help guide us in that. But from a resident perspective, I would want the resident to know that this was something that was definitely unfortunate, unintended. You know, we'd be working to make sure it got handled.
Okay. You had indicated earlier, which I could probably confirm from having known you for a couple of years now, that you've been very involved with the town as a volunteer. What is your proudest moment in town as a volunteer thus far?
One thing we did this year, I have a lot of proud moments, but one that was very meaningful to me was I've been on the Board of Health, I think almost 2 years now.
Okay.
And at the beginning of 2022, I did a lot of legwork. When I joined the Board of Health, I wasn't really oriented to the Board of Health in a way that helped me understand what was being asked of me. And so I did, as a researcher, did what I do, and I started really, really digging, and I came across an organization called the New Jersey Local Boards of Health Association. And the initial founder was a wealth of knowledge, a man named Paul Roman. And I started to reach out to him to understand like the authority and the rights and the operating privileges of boards of health. And he ended up coming and speaking at one of the meetings. And he was just so encouraged that there was a board of health that was meeting regularly, because I guess that doesn't always happen in every town. So kudos to our past president and to our current president for, you know, making sure that happens monthly. But he also came and really gave us some rich history of boards of health and why they were established the way they were in New Jersey, and what it meant to be a part of an association. And so we joined the association this year, which is like a very nominal fee. And I think the majority of our board members now took a certification. This is a very small certification based on the manual and understanding of what a Board of Health member is for. And so our board committed to becoming certified. That was very meaningful to me. Serving on a board for me is not just about sitting in a chair and going to meetings. It's about really understanding what it's about and doing what is actually being asked of us. It's an appointment by the mayor. And so it took a little bit of digging, but that was a very meaningful meeting to have a room in there kind of explaining to our board how important boards of health are to a community.
Okay. Well, let's flip it. To the extent there is one, you have a least proud moment as a volunteer in Norwood thus far.
It's been more recent, you know, to be completely honest. Since I enjoyed an amazing working relationship with people on all sides. I had no idea whether somebody was one party or another, just doing great, amazing things between the school, the Board of Health, helping Norwood. I had a really great relationship with the borough. And like I said earlier, it was suggested to me by both sides that I consider council. And when, you know, I've struggled over the years with kind of the way that in New Jersey, it is that you have to pick a party. I don't think it's ever going to change in New Jersey. Even though
isolated towns do it nonpartisan, but it seems to be rare. Yeah, go ahead.
So I can't change that. And, you know, and once I better understood the landscape, I chose a party that I felt was talking about things that were really important to me, that was willing to have conflict when I disagreed with their approach or their ideas. I felt a party that felt best aligned for me. And when I did that,
hello,
I'm here. When I did that, it created an immediate wall that I was not anticipating. And it's been challenging, but it's also allowed me to really re-examine, and really look inside and decide what, why I was doing this in the first place. So that's been difficult, in volunteering, and then having a sudden switch from the ability to kind of work with everybody since I started running for council, which is still running for council. I mean, there is a nominal fee, as you, that a council person gets paid.
Nominal
for all intents and purposes, it's a volunteer position. So that's been
after my term altogether.
But it's I would say right now is more challenging times in my experience volunteering. Sorry for the pause there. I was trying to make sure I could regroup and get my words out.
I thought you dropped your mic. I was like, I didn't mic her up. That was confusing. All right. What was I going to say? Okay, going back into, I guess, slightly lighter areas. Up to you,
Perfect.
I guess.
Perfect.
Is there we've got Norwood Day, we've got the PTO Carnival, we've got 5K. Is there a yearly event that you'd like to see added into the mix in Norwood that you've seen, say, somewhere else that you just haven't seen here that you'd like to see happen here?
Oh yeah, there's probably two. I think one is like a big, amazing resource fair.
Okay.
So, it's really like one of the things that's most important to me is civic engagement. That people know the beauty of living in a small town like Norwood. I was raised in a very small town. Is that you can get up close and personal, and you can ask the questions and get involved in ways that aren't always available in larger cities. But people really don't know how to access stuff. A lot of people don't know, you could be on a board in our town. So like just having a huge resource fair, everything local to county to state, that really showcases everything that the wealth. We don't have a problem in New Jersey of having resources if people have needs. What we have is a problem of people knowing that the resource is available or how to access it. So I would love to do that. I have been involved in a lot of events like that, where resource fairs. Another one that I think would be really awesome, which would be to do a collaboration with other towns and do like a restaurant week.
Ooh,
where we shut down living in, or
yes.
Or really cater to our businesses in town. Would I think would be an amazing. We're so close to a town like Northvale, and
Right.
So many of our residents, go into Northvale for things. I think it could be. I think there's a lot of opportunity there too. That would be really fun.
Northern Valley Restaurant Crawl.
Yeah.
You heard it first. I like it. Which is actually dovetail nicely into one of my next questions. Mario's or cousins as a
Oh. Okay. Well, I was just at Cousins last night because my son I was so proud of him. He got the reading incentive from the Norwood Public Schools. So I promised him I would take him for a mommy and son date every month that he got that. So I do have cousins on the brain.
Okay.
But as soon as I eat Mario's, it'll be Mario's. And then as soon as I eat cousins, it'll be cousins. So I guess it's both. But cousins is top of mind today.
I hear that. Okay. Here's my controversy in my own head question of the day. Would you be in favor of renaming the neighborhood north of Rockland Avenue and Tapan Road the Upper West Side?
Wow. I don't think there's a need for that at all. I can't see how that would benefit Norwood, but I would have to ask the community first if that is something they would like.
Okay. Did I just reveal that I lived in the city beforehand? That's fair. Let me see. Um, here's a minor Norwood history question. You've probably seen the recent, and I think it's great that New Jersey has recently renamed all of its rest stops after notable New Jersey citizens, past and present. If you had to rename a New Jersey rest stop or dedicate a local holiday in honor of someone from Norwood's past or present, who would that be and why?
Hmm.
I'm an acceptable answer, but I understand if it's someone else.
Gosh, it's such a good question. I think I'm gonna have to think about that some more.
Okay.
Can I come back?
All right. Yeah, I can't have you phone a friend, so we could come back though. That works. Let me see. Make sure here's one. Give me 1 second. I'm getting my 10-minute warning here. Favorite shore town? As New Jersey resident, I should mention.
Cape May has a special place in my heart because that's where we were married.
Ah, very nice. Okay.
So, very fond memories. Oh, I'll go back. You know who is he was my eye doctor, and he was a former councilman.
Oh, Dr. Ross.
Dr. Ross.
Okay,
yes.
He's my eye doctor too.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. He was one of the first people I met when I came to Norwood, he and his wife, and I know his daughter. But yeah, he a lot of history back in that very first, and his wife did too when I met them. And I found them such fascinating people, and what a gem that Norwood had here for so long. So that's my answer.
Okay. So, and then with that, anything in closing that maybe I didn't cover that you'd want to address for those that are tuning in, as far as yourself, the campaign, what you bring?
Sure. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thanks for the questions. That was really fun. Thanks for this opportunity again, because it is challenging to, even though we're a small community, it's still hard to, personalize some of the campaigning, and the governing are two totally different things, which I'm learning, that this campaigning is not always the most comfortable, but you do have to let people know who you are and what you're about. And so this gives a unique way for people to be able to hear from me. I have served on everything from working with the previous superintendent to address equity issues in the school. She spearheaded an equity committee on some pretty tough conversations we had 2.5 years ago. I have served as a class parent. I'm the Arbor Day chairperson, PTO. I've worked at the carnival, like you said. I have also helped to revitalize the special education parents group at the school. And this year I'm the vice president, because I'm committed to helping our community understand that there is support available for them as they navigate their academic journeys with their children. I did help spearhead the Healthy Norwood initiative with the borough 2.5 years ago as a positive response to some of the community issues I saw at the time. I have always been someone who focuses on positive forward progress while also addressing the reality of the challenges we're in. We do not need to sugarcoat when there's a problem. We can focus on solutions. It's okay to say things are not working well. There's nothing wrong with that. And then we move forward together. I have been a rec coach. I have currently, I'm also working on the playground committee, which is trying to make the Kennedy Field playground a more accessible playground for kids of all abilities. That's a current project. I was the first one to apply for our town of Norwood to be recognized for our accomplishments around healthy community efforts. And we were awarded Healthy Town to Watch through the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. I helped the borough with becoming a stigma-free zone, a town that is committed to destigmatizing mental health issues. I helped in 2020 to make sure Norwood Day happened when no other town in the Northern Valley was, but our borough was committed to providing a safe, community-filled event time of extreme isolation. I worked very closely with the borough to help do that. I have been committed, and I will be committed no matter the outcome of the election. I consider it a privilege to serve. And I would also ask that and challenge all of our residents to think about how they can contribute to the health of our community, whether minimizing the way that we talk about each other when we're not in front of each other, whether it's the way that we talk about people who don't agree with the things that we believe in, whether it is striving to better our own mental and physical health by putting down alcohol or picking up healthy habits. I would ask all of us to think about the ways in which we are contributing to our overall wellness of our community. We can all be a part of making Norwood the best it can be for our own lives and for our future generations. I would also like to ask if anyone ever has concerns about me or anything they've ever heard about me to please come to me directly if they have questions. Even people I had great relationships with have spread misinformation about me, and I have addressed it with them directly. But I would ask that if you have heard things that unsettle you or you're not sure about, that you know you have an open door to come to me and ask me directly. I would also like people to know that I am the daughter of a retired police officer who was the Police Officer of the Year for a major city in the United States. I'm also the daughter of a decorated military veteran. And if you've heard anything different, it is not correct. But I'm also someone who stands for justice and equality, compassion and love. And both can coexist. I'm a proud Norwood resident. I'm a proud mom of 3 wonderful kids. I'm the proud wife of an amazing man who equally works to contribute to our community. I also cry because I'm human. I also make mistakes because I'm human. But I really consider it my highest privilege to serve our community. And so if that is what you're looking for in a council, I would consider it the greatest honor to have your vote this election. And I would consider it a great opportunity to work with you to continue to propel Norwood forward and prepare place for the next generation that will come after us. I think that sums it up.
Excellent. And I think that's probably a good place to end it for today. Angie, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time with me. And everybody viewing, stay tuned for the next edition of I Am Norwood. And I should note, I am currently working to get some more people from throughout Norwood's history to speak. I think kind of a roadblock with a few people, but I do want to keep this project going. So, and with that, I wish Angie, good luck in the election, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul, for your service to our community as well. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that people appreciate my semi-retired state.